Growing up, sometimes my dad would say that he wished he had boys instead of girls. I have two sisters, so that meant he wished the three of us were boys, not girls, and it was usually after I said something that I only wanted to tell a woman, like my mom or grandma, and kind of excluded him. He now has four daughters, and he says he wouldn't have it any other way. So he's come to the light. But this just informs that growing up, I wanted to be the son my dad never had. I wanted to be masculine and tomboyish, not like the evil women who are betrayers, backstabbers, and just catty people in general. So the impact this had on me is that I did my best to not be emotional. I didn't want to honor the sensitivity that was within me. And I chose instead to be very logical, very school-oriented, very goal-driven, ambitious. I recall in high school, I was in Georgia, and I met this guy, and we were talking, and I said something about my goals, and he was like, "That's very masculine of you." And I was just like, sure, whatever, I don't care. And as I think about it, I'm doing research on different things and seeing like what are my passions and how would I describe what I'm interested in to people. And as I was researching what problems do women face, something that really stood out to me on an article was trauma-based feminism. And I was like, that sticks, that resonates. And I looked it up, and it talked about how, let me quote a part of it. It says, women are being taught that they are vulnerable, fragile, and in imminent danger. A new trauma-centered feminism has taken hold. Its primary focus is not equality with men, but rather protection from them. And I find this to be very prolific because it informs what a lot of our challenges are. And that was from Christina Hoff Summers. And I feel like the challenge that we have nowadays is that women do not realize that they're as strong as capable as, and as amazing as men, if not stronger and better, like low-key a superior model. Now, growing up for myself, I believed in pussy power as well as my tomboy behavior. And what it told me is that as a woman, I am a valued asset. I am the energy that makes the world go round, and I have the capacity to create life. So I felt like, how can I use all that I am as an asset in a world that doesn't realize how wonderful I am? So that means as a Black woman living in America, how can I use the fact that I am also a very intelligent, opinionated person who's willing to do research and dive into things? How can I, instead of feeling like I'm a victim, no one likes me, no one's gonna listen, how can I use this to my benefit? So I studied math and computer science in college because I like math and logic and reason. I love it when things make sense, and it's annoying when things don't make sense. And a lot of people don't make sense unless you understand their backgrounds, their intentions, or their aspirations. And one of the things that, sidebar, is perception is reality only because who we are shows up in everything that we do. Even if we think we're hiding it, everything that we do is a reflection of who we are. And if we pretend otherwise, that's just a blind spot. But when it comes to this idea that men are something to be protected from, that's a challenge to deal with because it stops men from having the ability to just be treated as humans. It makes women act weird around men because there's fear involved in the relationship. And it also is just not a healthy model because women don't need protecting. We've never needed protecting. Patriarchy was never about protecting women. It was about owning women. It was about taking the magic of women and using it for men. It was about knowing that the woman's child was yours because she is married to you and she will not stray. I was reading Mating in Captivity by Esther Perel, and she talks about how infidelity was not a thing until women started cheating because men could do as they pleased. So the sow your wild oats notion is men cheat. No big deal. And I feel like I'm probably rambling a bit because I just read this and I had a great conversation that makes me feel like empowering women to know you can do technology, you can be in politics, you can do whatever a man can do, and it's highly likely you can do it better. Not because of me being woman power, yay, but just because of women have a perspective of having been forced to think about other people, see the other perspective, and pretend to be nourishing, caring individuals, whether that's their true nature or not. I've legitimately been told, why don't you think about your other coworker's perspective? And it's like, I don't see you telling other people to do this crap. Like, why are you coming at me? Is it because I'm a woman? You think I care about her feelings? Well, surprise, I don't care. It's a job. Now get out of my face. But on a more serious note, I feel like very excited to dive more into the notion of feminism, patriarchy, sexuality, and also how do we navigate being humans in a world where our genders are so powerful that they limit our opportunities. They prevent people from being able to do things. And for myself, I am lucky and blessed that I live in America because I have the choice and opportunity to learn as much as I would like, to figure out my resources, and I can create a business without needing a man's permission and walk around freely in whatever I choose. If I weren't in another country, I wouldn't be so lucky or blessed to be able to make this video and post it without concern of retribution or someone attacking me. So I just really would like to, I'm going to continue my soul searching and figuring out what is it that I'm about? What am I creating? And I really just know that I would like to be in service to women who think that they're less than, who are dealing with imposter syndrome. And I feel like I've recently read about the fundamental attribution error in the 5 dysfunctions of a team field guide. And it talks about how we like to think that bad things happen to us because of circumstances and good things happen to other people because of circumstances. So like if I do something bad, it's because of circumstances made me do it. If you do something bad, it's because you're a bad person. It's your character. Now, when it comes to good things, if something good happens to me, it's because I'm a good character. Like that, my individual humanity is what made it worthwhile because like I'm inherently good. But if something happens good to someone else, we usually think that they are benefiting by fate. It is their circumstances that did it. They're not that great. And I find that to be interesting because I feel like with women, or as a woman, I feel like I've been told I'm the bad guy, I'm the failure, something's wrong with me, and I've got to change my ways, and it's my behavior, and if I would just stop doing this thing, everything would be better. Versus, I don't feel like I've seen men have to go through that. Like, I believe they do, and I believe it's in a different way. But I also feel like sometimes men don't have a forced external locus of control and concern, where like as a woman, I have been taught like if I make someone else mad, I could be physically harmed for it. So if I say the wrong thing, if I reject a man, if I do something, they might lash out and hit me, and I have no control over it. And I've experienced this physically, where I was in an environment where I could be punished physically by parents, by not parents. Like it was just an option. And to be raised in that environment, it just messes with you a bit. So like now I'm learning, oh no, like I need to worry about and protect myself and not worry about if they're gonna respond with violence or anything, because 1, I can handle it, 2, I can like sue them. And then like the other part of it is that if we're always afraid, we're never really gonna be able to be powerful or get things done. So I'm excited to continue learning more about this, figuring out where my role in it fits, because I am a woman and I do work in technology. I mean, not at the moment, but that's the space that I'm looking to. And even with it, like I know I love data, I know I love analyzing it, collecting it, figuring things out, and I can see that data engineering really is like a passion of mine. Like I've been wanting to do this for a while. So maybe it's gonna be women and STEM. Like I don't know exactly what it looks like, but I do know that I believe that any person, any human can do whatever they choose to do, whatever they dream of doing, it's possible for them. And that sometimes we just need to know that anything is possible for us. So I'm going to be figuring out what that looks like, but I know I like communication, conflict, character development, all the things that make for juicy, interesting things. I'm just excited to put it together. So thank you for watching. If you made it this far, please comment below. Let me know what you think about this. How would you approach it? What other challenges do you see? I know that the biggest implication that comes up for me is how women are angry and violent towards men, and I don't believe that's healthy. Like we're not in a race war or an actual like a gender war. I said race, we're not in a gender battle. It shouldn't be the battle of the sexes. It should just be like understanding. So I hope you enjoyed it. Please comment, like, share, subscribe, and have an awesome day. See you next time.